Hello there, my friends. It is a lovely Thanksgiving day here in the district, and as you can see, we have got some absolutely gorgeous weather going on right now. In marked contrast to the rainy unpleasantness that we've had for most of the rest of the previous week, so it seemed like a very good opportunity to get outside and record a tech blog for y'all. The topic of which is, what is a cap? Yeah, why did I pick this topic? Well, number one, it's timely. Marvin Ong had posted a video a number of months back that included a move that some folks had said had what they considered to be cap-like qualities to it. And Marvin had posted to both the TechPoi and Vulcan Tech Gospel forums, or excuse me, groups on Facebook, asking people what the definition of a cap was and whether the move he was doing in his video qualified. So, it also is interesting because the question of what constitutes a cap leads into a topic I've been wanting to revisit on this tech blog. It fits in very nicely with tech blog number 200, The Lines of Poi. And so that will be the topic of the follow-up video to this one. But I wanted to kind of take us through and play around with some of the different approaches that I think people have come up with out there to explain this concept. So, a cap. This is pretty much the only movement that I think everyone will agree is a cap. It is the hand moving back and forth along the same half of a circle, and along one segment it is doing anti-spin, and along the opposite segment it is doing extension. The name was coined by a French poi spinner by the name of Damien, and I'm going to massacre this last name. I think it's Boibovier. Damien, you can totally correct me on that one if you want. But essentially, it was in reaction to seeing a Yuta video where Yuta and a partner were both performing both this move and this move. And Damien very astutely noted that these were two different flavors of the same idea, namely this same concept of moving back and forth along segments of a circle and switching between anti-spin and in-spin as one does it. Now, I happen to see poi in much the same way that Damien does, namely in terms of kind of the mathematics behind it and how those mathematics interrelate to each other. So to Damien, what this move constituted was an interesting variation on the mathematics behind flowers and extensions. Namely, if you break out flowers and extensions and similar moves into the parametric mathematics that describe them, you're basically tracking a series of oscillations in two axes for both the hand and the poi, right? And how Damien framed this move was the concept of then oscillating back and forth between 2 points along that oscillation. So it essentially was 3 levels of oscillation. Damien also noted that you could take this same concept and apply it to greater portions of the circle, just so long as you were oscillating between 2 points along it, and one of those segments was anti-spin, and one of those segments was either in-spin or anti-spin, right? So, for instance, Charlie's lovely idea of the 8-step cap totally fits into this framework. It basically would include any shift between anti-spin and either in-spin or extension that you could do. So, say if you're doing a timing and direction shift between split time, same direction, and then decide that you want to switch that into same time, same direction, or excuse me, same time opposite, it takes a cap to get there, essentially. So, this is one approach, and for Damien, the term cap was an acronym for continuous assembly pattern. That is, you are assembling a complete pattern that you repeat continuously out of segments of different moves, right? Okay, so next up, a lot of people have seen this idea and have thought of it not so much as an oscillation between points along a circle, but as a switch between anti-spin and extension, which, I mean, you could argue potato-potato on that one, except that it creates movements like this. This is one of the first moves that we kind of explored on the TechBoy group on Facebook, called the S-cap. And the S-cap is based around the idea of switching between neighboring circles, and once again only doing a certain segment of each circle before returning and switching back into the other circle, right? Now, this is a little bit different from Damien's concept. In Damien's concept, you're always really playing around with different segments along the same circle. With this, you're playing around with different circles. It also opens you up to possibilities where, say, instead of going back and forth along the same segment, you're completing the circle, but you're switching between extension or, say, pendulum and anti-spin along the way. So, for example, this pattern would fit in that kind of a breakdown. Interesting. Now, the final type of movement that has been described as a type of cap is an elliptical cap, and this is an idea that comes from the second volume of the Encyclopedia. And it is this. It's a variation on Zand's diamond, right? And, you know, Zand's diamond, of course, fits into that framework as well. Now, interestingly, Damien posted a number of months after his cap posting about this same kind of movement and referred to it as what we call the third order motion. The notable difference there being that with a cap, he saw the additional oscillation as being between 2 points along the same circle, whereas in a third order motion, you're tracing complete circles. They just happen to be for 3 different oscillations. 1, the oscillation of the poi going around the hand. 2, the oscillation of the hand going around a circle. And 3, the oscillation of the hand circle going around body center. Yeah? So, I've heard a few other ideas of what a cap constitutes, but these in my mind are kind of the major different approaches, and those that I think are the most logically and internally consistent. So the question at the end of all that then becomes, which of these frameworks do I think constitutes a cap? And quite frankly, I don't think it matters. I think the far more interesting question is, what does a cap teach us about poi motion, and where can we kind of take those lessons in creating more complex ideas? And that will be the topic of the next tech blog. So, thank you guys very much for watching, and have yourselves a very happy Thanksgiving. Peace.